Good afternoon, guys. We're starting from an uninspiring car park. That's because we are in a village in Kent, close to Canterbury, called Chartham. It's actually part of the Canterbury area, but yeah, it's a small village of about 4,200 people, and I just thought to, you know, show you around, take a walk around, see if it has anything to offer. So we will just leave this car park and actually start our visit in, I guess, the more important area or part of the village. Well, depending on who you ask, because then some might say that the village hall, which is that right there, is the most important part. But I think it is this grade 1 listed church called St. Mary's. So we will just have a brief wander around the church. It's a small village, so this shouldn't take us too long to get through. Just so we know, it's the 18th of April 2025. The weather is about 17 degrees Celsius. So we're just in the heat of spring. And I don't know about you, but the weather throughout the winter hadn't been as rainy as it normally would be in England, especially in the southern part. So it's been relatively sunny and dry for the UK. But yeah, we're just approaching St. Mary's. So this church was built between, I think, year 1285 and the early 1300s. Right? So it was constructed. I think there was some evidence that the architect who did a lot of the masonry work, that's the carvings, was also the same architect for Canterbury Cathedral. Then again, the parish is quite close to Canterbury Cathedral, so again, it's a pretty large church for what I consider to be a small village, because even though I said it has about 4,200 residents, a lot of those residents would have been added in recent times, so you would think this was catering to way less than 1,000 residents. Quite a large church. Obviously, it's been renovated several times for it to still maintain a relatively good condition, and it is indeed in quite decent condition. interior. So we have a spa there. This must be the war memorial, possibly to both World War One and Two. So likely members of the village to have perished in the war, especially those who might have fought in the war. Alright, let's just move around the village, looking at some of the So we will come back through this part, but what do we have here? One of the red phone boxes, but this is a library now. Right, so you can actually loan some books here, and if you do have any book that maybe you're done with and you wanted to share with the community, this is a good spot. I always love how quiet it is around villages. Just seems always very peaceful. I think this should be part of the River Store that flows from Canterbury, but I'm not sure. I might be wrong. If I am, I will correct it in the comment section. Sorry, in the caption of the video. So. Have a look at this section. You see the water is relatively clear. No. Timbered house. This is Bedford. is there a statue there? I wonder. So this village is actually served by a small rail station here, Chartham, which does call on the slower southeastern service to London. It was one of the last few places that used to be, or that used to have a manually controlled level crossing, where you had a rail attendant who lived in that building, the one here, the yellow and green one, and whenever trains were to pass, they would manually shut the gate. But more recently, it has been automated. So I think this building is as such redundant, I guess, which is a bit of a shame, but that's sometimes what you get with technology. Yeah, so now the level crossing is now automated, unlike before. So what is going to be the fate of this building? I don't really know. It does seem in good condition though, very well kept, I guess. So hopefully it does come in use. But yeah, that's it's not really much of a station, more than it is just a stop. I'm not even sure that there are ticketing machines. Are there any? I doubt. So, but yeah, you can actually take the train directly from London. Here, that would be the longer train. So let's say you wanted to just visit this village. My best advice would be to take the high speed to Ashford, and from Ashford then get the southeastern to Chartham, and you're good. Just to point out, this doesn't look so great because it's actually the backyard. It's a bit odd, the arrangement. Now right there is the St. Mary's Church, so we've just taken kind of a 360, but we will go past the church, check out some of the neighborhoods. There is a small shop here in the village, which is not too bad. There are pubs and restaurants close by. I don't think there is any specifically in the village, but there are some pubs around where they actually make good meals. So I may list some of them in the caption. So yeah, this is the main recreational ground, and also you could actually walk directly from here to Canterbury by the River Store. Yes, it is the River Store. So you can walk directly to Canterbury here. During the summer period, you do have events that take place here, such as antique sales, for example, like a trade fair. Again, which is usually nice, gets people around together. You know, they make sales, listen to live music, bring their dogs, chat about mundane things, I guess. Chartham used to be noted for its paper mill. This actually shut down in 2022, That's the historic part of the paper mill there. I don't think we can access it, but this was the more modern factory. But now it's all closed. You have the river store just running through here. Yeah, that's the paper mill there, the old paper mill. This was the current one, and sadly it's closed down. Like many, I guess, manufacturing facilities in Britain, I think that is quite emblematic. We'll not walk by the stream, but like I said, you could use this pathway directly and you will get to Canterbury. It's part of the project that actually connects Canterbury to Ashford via a walkway. So quite extensive. Yeah, so this is a part of the last paper mill. I don't know what the future will be for this project. That's for this facility. But it doesn't look too great, if I'm honest. The future, I mean, not just the physical look of it. I'm sure this would have been residents of the workers in the factory now closed up. So that's really quite a shame. So mainly they used to make, I've forgotten the name of that kind of paper, but you know the one that you place on top to trace the writing, or that you, let's say, placed between sheets of a book and then you write it and it comes out on the other page. That's what they used to make there. So you might say that the reason the factory closed down may have been due to the fact that such papers are no longer as needed as they used to be. I mean, think about it. Most of the times now, when you go to a store, receipts are electronic. So when they're writing a receipt or an invoice, it will be, recorded in the system and printed out to you, so you don't need the physical copies anymore. So I guess it rendered, the output redundant, and that led to the closure of the factory. So again, evolution of technology and what it's done to industries. It becomes quite a tough dance to readapt. However, without the paper mill, if you put it to the side, the village still actually looks alright. It feels alright. It's functioning as it's supposed to. Maybe the decline was gradual, so people kind of adapted to it. So likely been the warehouse where the papers produced were stored. Thanks for joining me on this mundane walk around this lovely village, but with a declined factory. And I hope to catch you in some other video very soon.